Ready for a wild ride? Buckle up, because today's deep dive, well, we're diving into Project Hail Mary. It's this sci-fi thriller, and it throws a whole new light on, that phrase global warming. We're talking sun-eating microbes, a desperate mission to a distant star, and an amnesiac astronaut who wakes up in deep space wondering, wait, who am I again? Seriously. Meet Ryland Grace. Okay, so imagine waking up with, no memory, right? You're staring at this cryptic email about a thin red line, and it slowly dawns on you. You're the only one who can save humanity. Talk about pressure. But even more intriguing is the global crisis unfolding back on Earth. We're talking scientific mystery here. That throws our whole understanding of the cosmos into question. It all starts with what's called the Petrova problem. And this isn't just some fictional plot device. This is rooted in, real scientific principles. So imagine an astronomer, right? Irina Petrova, and she notices the sun dimming. But it's not the usual kind, not the predictable kind. It's something rapid, something unnatural.
That's where things get really unsettling. Petrova uncovers this threat, and it's unlike anything we've ever imagined. Astrophage. So these microscopic organisms are basically cosmic termites, feasting on the sun's energy. And get this, they multiply as they go.
So picture this scenario, right? Our very own star, literally being eaten alive by these microscopic creatures. It's enough to make you want to double-check your sunscreen. Right. Desperate times. Right. They call for desperate measures, which is where Project Hail Mary comes in. Think of it as humanity's Hail Mary pass. It's our last-ditch effort to save ourselves from, being literally left in the dark.
The mission is a long shot. We're talking a one-way trip to Tau Ceti. It's a star that seems immune to the astrophage. And the goal, figure out what makes Tau Ceti different. And, is there any hope of replicating that on Earth?
And that's where our amnesiac astronaut Ryland comes in. Waking up on the Hail Mary, right, no memory, a whole lot of questions. He quickly realizes the weight of the mission.
Yeah.
It rests squarely on his shoulders. Talk about a rude awakening, right? And if being millions of miles from home with your memory wiped clean isn't enough, imagine experiencing artificial gravity, all thanks to the ship's constant acceleration.
What's fascinating is, how Ryland deduces his situation? He uses these simple experiments with a pendulum, of all things, and he figures out that the gravity he feels, it isn't natural. It's the result of the ship's constant acceleration. It really highlights something, the ingenuity of the human mind, even in the most extreme circumstances.
Talk about using science to make sense of the impossible. But here's where Project Hail Mary, it truly blasts off into the unknown. Okay, Ryland encounters another spaceship, and it's not human. Enter the Iridians. And trust me, you've never met aliens quite like this before. Okay, picture beings, right? Shaped like giant, multifaceted gems with 3 hands each and a mastery of technology. That would make, even the most advanced Earthling jealous. Turns out the Iridians, they have their own astrophage problem brewing. Their home star, it's being devoured too. Turns out we're not alone in facing this cosmic threat. But the way the Iridians go about solving it, well, let's just say their ethics, they're a bit different from ours. They're big fans of, let's say, interplanetary landscaping. Terraforming on a scale that would make even the most ambitious Earthling blush.
What's really compelling here is that the Iridians, they're not necessarily villains. They're driven by the same instinct for survival that we are, just with a different set of priorities, shaped by their unique evolutionary history and their planetary conditions.
And that's just the beginning of this incredible journey. Stay with us. We're going to delve deeper into this mystery, the mystery of the thin red line. The science of interstellar travel, and the unlikely bond that forms between these two very different species facing a shared existential threat.
That thin red line, the one you mentioned before, it's more than just a cryptic email subject. It's like this symbol woven through the whole story, this delicate balance, that razor's edge between survival and extinction. And not just for humanity. For the Iridians, too.
And believe me, that line, it gets even thinner. When the Iridians reveal a game changer, okay, get this. They've discovered a predator. That eats astrophage.
This changes everything. Imagine that, right? A natural predator, that could hold the key to saving not one, but 2 civilizations. And they're both on the brink. Really makes you think, doesn't it? About, the interconnectedness of life, even on this cosmic scale.
This predator, they're called Talmiba by the Iridians. And they're like microscopic superheroes, gobbling up astrophage. It's going out of style, but of course there's a catch, isn't there always? Talmiba, well, they're picky eaters. They need this very specific environment to survive, this
Yeah.
delicate balance of, temperature and pressure.
And here's where the story, throws another curveball. Turns out transporting the Talmiba to Earth, well, it's not as simple as, tacking them up.
And hitting the gas. It's like, trying to relocate a rare orchid from, let's say, a tropical rainforest to, well, your backyard takes careful planning. And you really need a deep understanding of their needs. And just when you think things couldn't get any more complicated, Ryland, he discovers a leak in one of the Talmiba containers on his ship. Talk about a ticking time bomb. Right, so now he's racing against the clock, trying to find this leak, contain it too, before, these microscopic saviors, before they turn into a ship-destroying swarm.
This is where you see, Ryland's resourcefulness, it really shines.
Limited resources.
Right. Time running out. He has to improvise. He relies on his, his scientific knowledge, his problem-solving skills to avert disaster. It's a real testament to human ingenuity under pressure.
He manages to contain the Talmiba, but just when he breathes a sigh of relief, another blow hits. He loses contact with the Iridian spaceship. And, his newfound alien friend, Rocky. Imagine that isolation, right? The sheer vastness of space. Suddenly it feels even more empty and unforgiving.
This loss, it hits Ryland hard. Remember, he's already dealing with amnesia, trying to piece together his identity, shouldering the fate of humanity, and then to spawn that, with another being, a being from a completely different world, only to have that connection severed. Well, it makes you wonder, is this whole mission even worth it?
But Ryland, giving up just isn't in his nature. Fueled by this glimmer of hope and his unwavering loyalty to Rocky, he embarks on this this desperate search. Week after week, he's scanning the void, clinging to the hope of finding a trace of the Iridian ship.
Yeah.
And just when all seems lost, this faint signal, it crackles to life.
It's a powerful moment, a real testament, to the strength of their bond. Even with the language barrier, the cultural differences, they form this connection that transcended species and
light years of separation.
He finds the ship, but it's eerily silent, fearing the worst. He risks everything on a daring spacewalk to board the Iridian vessel, and that's where he finds Rocky, alive, but gravely ill. It turns out the Iridians, well, they have a weakness. They're incredibly susceptible to radiation. Their home planet, it was shielded by this strong magnetic field, so it never prepared them for the, the harsh realities of deep space travel. It's the stark reminder that even the most advanced civilizations, they have vulnerability.
It's a tragic twist, really. All of Rocky's crewmates, they succumb to radiation poisoning during their voyage. Rocky, well, he only survived because he spent most of the trip in hibernation, sheltered from the deadly rays. But now he's the last of his kind, facing, the potential extinction of his species alone.
This just adds, a whole new layer of weight to the predicament. It's not just about saving 2 planets anymore. It's about preserving the legacy of an entire civilization.
Ryland. He's determined to save his friend. But there's this massive problem, the Hail Mary. It was a one-way ticket. They don't have enough fuel to get back to Earth, let alone, make a detour to the Iridian homeworld.
This is where the story, this is where it presents this, this ultimate dilemma. Does Ryland, does he fulfill his duty to humanity? Or does he honor his loyalty to his friend? It's a choice with no easy answers. It's this stark reminder of, of the sacrifices that are sometimes demanded, in the face of impossible odds.
Just when it seems like all hope is lost, Rocky drops a bombshell. Okay, you ready for this? The Iridian ship.
It's carrying a surplus of astrophage. Turns out they overestimated their fuel needs.
Now this is a game changer. It's like this sudden shift from, despair to this sliver of possibility. Ryland, now is a chance to save Earth and his friend. But the question is, how do you safely transfer this volatile fuel to two vastly different spaceships?
It's a delicate operation, to say the least, and it's fraught with risk. One wrong move, right? One miscalculation, and they could trigger this chain reaction with catastrophic consequences. This is where their collaboration, and their shared scientific understanding becomes even more critical. They have to bridge the gap between their technologies, their languages, their very ways of thinking, even to find a solution that works for both of them.
With meticulous care.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of ingenuity.
Yeah.
They managed to transfer the astrophage, overcoming what seemed like, an insurmountable obstacle. But
Yeah.
the challenges, well, they're far from over. Remember those amoebas?
Yeah.
Yeah, getting them to Earth safely. Well, that's a whole other story. And we'll dive into that right after.
And trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.
With a fresh supply of astrophage powering the Hail Mary, it's time for Ryland to make the long journey back to Earth. But this isn't just a physical journey. It's also a journey through the corridors of his own mind. As he gets further from Tau Ceti, his memories of Earth start to come into focus.
It's like he's piecing together a puzzle, but with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. Each recovered memory brings him closer to understanding the gravity of his mission and the sacrifices made to get him there.
One of the biggest revelations. Ryland wasn't the first choice for this mission. Turns out, long-duration space travel, especially at the speeds needed to reach Tau Ceti, isn't exactly a walk in the park. The constant acceleration, while creating artificial gravity, takes a toll on the human body.
The scientists behind Project Hail Mary stumbled upon a fascinating solution, one that sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction novel: induced comas. They discovered that putting the crew into a state of suspended animation was the only way to protect them from the physical ravages of interstellar travel.
But there was a catch, and isn't there always? They needed someone with a specific genetic marker, someone with a natural resistance to coma complications. And guess what? Ryland, without even knowing it, was the perfect candidate.
Imagine the ethical quandary. The weight of choosing someone for a mission that's essentially a one-way ticket, even with the hope of a return, is immense. It makes you question, what lengths would we go to in order to ensure the survival of our species?
Ryland remembers arguing against the mission, seeing it as a suicide run. He even threatened to sabotage the Hail Mary if they forced him to go. It paints a picture of a man driven by his convictions, even when facing a global crisis.
But remember, Eva Straat, the Dutch administrator we discussed earlier, she was the driving force behind Project Hail Mary, someone who understood the stakes and wasn't afraid to make tough decisions.
Ryland remembers Straat as a master strategist, carefully maneuvering him into a position where accepting the mission seemed like the only option. He was a pawn in her game, even if it was a game to save humanity.
It makes you think about the fine line between determination and manipulation, especially when the fate of the world is at stake. Could we justify such actions if it meant the survival of our species?
As Ryland regains his memories, he grapples with the realization that he was essentially tricked into becoming humanity's savior. But amidst the anger and confusion, there's also a sense of responsibility, a growing understanding of the immense task he's been entrusted with.
And remember, he's still dealing with the after effects of amnesia, the struggle of rediscovering who he is while shouldering the weight of a dying world. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to face seemingly insurmountable challenges, even when grappling with our own inner turmoil.
As the Hail Mary gets closer to Earth, Ryland makes a chilling discovery. The situation back home is even worse than he imagined. The sun is dimmer, the climate is in chaos. The thin red line has nearly snapped.
It's a stark reminder that time is of the essence. Delivering the Taumiba is no longer enough. Ryland needs a plan, a way to introduce them to Earth's atmosphere in a controlled manner, ensuring they can thrive and combat the astrophage effectively.
And that's where Ryland's genius, his ability to merge his newfound knowledge of Iridian science with his understanding of Earth technology, truly shines. He devises a plan to use modified weather balloons, a familiar technology repurposed for a cosmic task, to seed the Taumiba into the upper atmosphere.
It's a long shot, a gamble, but it's the best chance they have. It highlights the power of human ingenuity, the ability to find solutions even when faced with seemingly impossible odds.
Ryland contacts Earth, sharing his findings and outlining his plan. It's a pivotal moment, a beacon of hope in the face of impending disaster. Scientists and engineers around the world band together, pooling their resources and expertise to put Ryland's plan into action.
It's a testament to the power of collaboration, the ability of humanity to unite in the face of a common enemy. It's a reminder that even when our differences seem insurmountable, our shared humanity can bind us together in extraordinary ways.
And then, slowly but surely, the tide begins to turn. The Taumiba, released into Earth's atmosphere, get to work. The sun starts to regain its former glory. The climate stabilizes. Humanity breathes a collective sigh of relief.
It's a hard-won victory, a testament to the ingenuity, resilience, and sheer will of two species who dared to reach across the cosmos and find common ground in the face of extinction.
Ryland returns to a hero's welcome, But for him, the true reward is the knowledge that he saved not just his own world, but played a part in securing a future for both humans and Irradians.
Project Hail Mary isn't just a story of survival. It's a testament to the power of friendship, the importance of scientific curiosity, and the limitless potential that lies dormant within us all, waiting for the right moment to ignite. It's a story that stays with you long after the final page is turned, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope, ingenuity, and a little bit of luck can make all the difference.
So, what can you take away from this deep dive? Perhaps it's a renewed appreciation for the fragility of our planet, the importance of scientific exploration, or the power of collaboration. Whatever resonates with you, remember this: the universe is full of wonders, challenges, and perhaps even a few friendly aliens waiting for us to reach out and make contact.